Okay, what are the two things standard form tells us to do? ABC order, highest to lowest. So what is our highest exponent up here? Which one's going to come first? We're looking at the exponent, so the baby number. 3p4. Okay, and then what's going to come next? 3p3. Okay, and then what? Negative 9p2. And then the 10. What happened to the p1? Or just the p? There isn't one. So when there isn't one, skip it and go to the next lowest one, okay? If there's no p3, then don't write p3, okay? And then looking at this, you remember we got to pick two things off of our chart, okay, here. So on our chart, what is going to be the degree? It's going to be quartic, okay? Our highest exponent is a 4, so it's going to be a quartic. Okay, and then you're going to pick something from that number of terms column. What is the number of terms? It's going to be a polynomial. Okay, 3. We need to put this in order. Which one's coming first? 4n. Then we got minus 5. Okay, and then we're going to pick from our chart. What is going to be our degree? It's going to be linear because our highest exponent is n or n1. Okay, so this is going to be a linear. The number of terms. It's going to be a binomial. Okay, the next section on here is says simplify each sum. Okay, what that's saying in other words is to combine like terms. Okay, so with the addition, the parentheses just kind of answer, and we're putting this stuff together, but we do need to do it from highest to lowest. Okay, so what is our highest exponent up there? 8v3 with what? 5v3. What is 8 plus 5? 13v3. Okay, and then my suggestion would be to cross them off after you use them. What could or should come next? Okay, 5v mixed with what? 2v. Okay, and again, there's no v2, so then we go to v1. Okay. And then lastly, we can combine 4 and the 5 to give me 9. Okay, the next section on here is about simplifying the difference. Okay, so that means the subtraction one, and there's two ways to do this. Okay, in the second parentheses, you're going to change all the signs. Okay, or the other way to look at it, because there's a negative and then a parenthesis, you're going to distribute that negative to each piece. Okay. And then you're just going to add them and combine like terms, okay? So our first one, nothing's changing, okay? So we're going to have 4 minus 3x4 minus 2x3. Okay, I just copied that down. I didn't do anything to it. Okay, the second set, okay, our first number is a positive 4. So what's it going to be? Negative 4x4. Okay, and this one's a positive 3, so it's going to be negative 3. And this one's a negative 3, so it's going to be a positive 3x3. Okay, and then now we can just combine it just like the last problem that we did. And which ones are we going to combine first? The x4s. So I got a negative 3 and a negative 4. What is that going to give me? negative 7 x4. Okay, and then what can I combine? 3, and then a negative 2. What is that going to give me? Positive 1x3. Okay, and then lastly, I can combine what? The 4 and the negative 3 to give me what? Positive 1. Can I scroll? Okay, the rest on the back are somewhat the same. Okay, the first two is just going to be distributing, okay? And you're going to multiply the big numbers together. And then we're going to add up the littles, okay, or the exponents. Okay, and that's a general rule for all of them. However, the rest after this, you kind of have to do a different method, but you're still going to multiply and then add. Okay, so 4 times 8, 32. Okay, from here to here, how many V's are there total? We're adding them up. 6. Okay, the first guy, he's got V5 and he's got V1, so that's going to give me V6. Okay, 4 times 8, 32. Okay, and then how many V's? 5. Okay, the first guy, he's got 5. The second guy, he's got none, so this is going to be V5. Okay, so these ones are fairly easy because there's only one piece times the two pieces, okay? Or a monomial times a binomial. For the binomials times the binomials, meaning two pieces times two pieces, we have to do a particular method, and what is it called? Anybody remember? FOIL. Okay, so we need to FOIL it out. Okay, and that being, you're going to multiply the first, then the outer, then the inner, and then the last. Okay? Every single time. Okay? And the way I look at it, I take this one and I make 2 rainbows off of it to the other one. And I take this one and I make 2 rainbows off of it from the other one. Okay? But I would definitely have that picture on there. But you're still going to multiply those bigs and then add the littles, okay? So if we're starting here, we're going to say 2 times 7, 14. How many x's? 2. Okay, and then we're going to say, again, this same one. We're doing that second rainbow. So 2 times 5, 10. How many x's? 1. Okay, and then we're going to do this bottom one times the other 2. So 3 times 7, 21. How many x's? 1. 3 times 5, 15. And then how many x's? None. Okay, and then we combine our like terms, like always. What can we combine? The 10 and the 21 to give me what? 31. So I'm going to get 14x squared plus 31x plus 15. Okay, what does it mean to be squared? Times itself. Okay, so This says 7 plus 2x squared, so that means you're gonna write this thing 2 times. It's already written there once, so I'm gonna write it the second time. Okay, if it had a 3 there, we would have to write it 3 times, so 2 more. If it had a 4 there, then we'd have to write it 3 more times, so that way there'd be 4. But other than that, you're still gonna do it just the way you did before. You're gonna say 7 times 7, 49. How many x's? None. 7 times 2, 14. How many x's? 1. And then we're gonna do these ones. So 2 times 7, it's gonna be 14, x again. And then 2 times 2, 4. How many x's? 2. So it's gonna be 4x squared. Okay, and then we look at this and say, well, what can we combine? The 14 and the 14. What is 14 plus 14? 28. So this is going to look like 49 plus 28x plus 4x squared. Okay, last one. We're going to multiply the first 2. So 2 times 2, it's going to be 4. How many b's? 2. 2 times negative 2, negative 4. How many b's? 1. 2 times 2, 4, and there's 1b. And then 2 times negative 2. It's going to be negative 4. Okay, what can we combine? Negative 4 and the positive 4. Okay, those 2 in the middle. What is negative 4 plus positive 4? 0. Okay, now, I know some of you guys are going to be tempted to do this. And you might write plus or minus 0 minus 4. Or 0b, better yet. Okay? If you write just 0, that's totally wrong. Okay? If you write 0b, it's kind of wrong, kind of right. Okay? Now, I want you to just think for a second with your brain. If we do something like this, what number is in front of that b? A 1. Okay? When you have a 0 something, the 0 is going to cancel the b because b is really an arbitrary value. And what happens is you could plug in any numbers that b. That b could really be a 4, it could be a 10. Well, then what happens if you put a 10 here? Well, what is 10 times 0? 0, so it just cancels out. Okay, so this is not entirely accurate to do that, and we don't need to. Okay, so it's gone. Okay, when it becomes that 0, it's gone. It's not 0b, it's just gone. Okay, because it's really 0 times b. This is, when we have this in the middle, that's 1 times b. Okay, this is 0 times b. Well, 0 times anything is going to be 0. Okay, and so these ones you're going to get when you combine, it's going to look a little bit weird, but it's still the same step, same process. Okay, you guys have 8 to do. Go through and get your side done, and then put it in the box back there.